"There's no chair for her here," my mother said about my stepdaughter at dinner. My sister laughed and added, "She's not part of this family anyway." My stepdaughter went still beside me. I didn't argue. I reached into my bag and placed something on the table. The entire room fell silent. The night I cut my entire family out of my life started with a missing chair. That's it. A single chair. It sounds small, but that chair was the last piece of proof I needed that they were never going to accept my stepdaughter. By the time we pulled into my mother's driveway that evening, I already had a strange feeling in my stomach. My husband Daniel noticed it right away. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "Just the usual." He knew what that meant. Every dinner with my family had been uncomfortable ever since we got married 2 years earlier. Not because of him. Daniel was polite, quiet, and impossible to dislike. But his daughter Lily was a different story for them. Lily was 13, shy, and still trying to figure out where she belonged after her parents divorced. When Daniel and I got married, I promised her one thing. "You'll never be second in my house." I meant it. Unfortunately, my family never got that message. When we walked into my mother's house that night, the first thing I noticed was the dining table already set. My mother treated family dinners like some formal event. Everything perfectly arranged. Plates, silverware, glasses, and chairs. I counted them without even thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I stopped. There were 6 chairs. But there were 7 of us. Daniel noticed it at the same time I did. His hand tightened around mine for a moment. Lily was holding a small gift bag with a pie she had picked out earlier. She was excited because she thought bringing dessert would make my family like her more. My sister Rachel looked up from her phone. "Oh," she said. "You brought her." She didn't even try to hide the disappointment. Daniel ignored it, but Lily's shoulders dropped just a little. My mother came out of the kitchen carrying a salad bowl like everything was perfectly normal. "Dinner's ready," she said. Nobody moved. Lily was still standing beside me. Then my mother looked at the table and sighed. "There's no chair for her here," she said. The room went quiet. Rachel laughed. "She's not part of this family anyway." Lily went completely still next to me. She didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then she gently placed the dessert bag on the counter. "I can just sit in the living room," she said. Rachel shrugged. "Probably better." For 2 years I had tried to keep peace between everyone. I told myself my family just needed time to adjust. But standing there, looking at that table with one chair missing on purpose, I suddenly understood something. They weren't trying to adjust. They were making a point. And I was done pretending not to see it. So I didn't argue. I didn't yell. Instead, I quietly reached into my bag. Then I pulled out a thick envelope and placed it right in the middle of the table. The sound made everyone look up. My mother frowned. "What's that supposed to be?" I looked around at all of them for a second before answering. "You should open it." Rachel rolled her eyes. "Are we doing drama now, Pearl?" My mother opened the envelope. At first she looked confused. Then the color drained out of her face. Rachel leaned over her shoulder. "What is it?" My mother didn't answer. Rachel grabbed the papers and started reading. Her expression changed almost immediately. "What the hell? Pearl, what is this?" I folded my hands calmly on the table. "It means," I said, "starting tonight things are going to be very different for all of you." Rachel kept staring at the papers like they were going to change if she blinked enough times. "What is this supposed to mean?" she asked again. My mother finally found her voice. "You can't be serious." Across the room, Lily was still standing near the counter, unsure if she should stay or disappear into the living room like she suggested earlier. Daniel had moved slightly in front of her without even realizing it. Rachel flipped through the pages faster. "These are mortgage documents." "Yes," I said. My Uncle Mark leaned closer. "What about them?" Rachel looked at my mother, then back at me. "You removed your name." My mother's hand slowly gripped the edge of the table. For the past 5 years my name had been on their house. Not because I lived there, but as I paid for half of it. When my dad died, my mother couldn't keep up with the payments alone. I had a stable job and good credit, so I helped her refinance the house. My income made the bank approve the loan. Every month since then I had been covering a huge part of the mortgage. Nobody at that table ever forgot that fact. Except tonight. My Aunt Denise cleared her throat. "So, what does that mean exactly?" I slid another paper across the table. It means I finalized the removal this afternoon. I paid the remaining balance required for the bank to release me. Rachel frowned. Release you from what? Responsibility. The room became very quiet. My mother shook her head slowly. You wouldn't do that to your own family. I didn't answer right away. Instead I looked toward Lily. She was trying to pretend she wasn't listening, but her eyes kept moving between me and the table. Then I looked back at my mother. I already did. Rachel slapped the papers down. Over a chair? No, I said calmly. Not over a chair. My mother's voice grew sharp. You're being ridiculous. Daniel finally spoke for the first time that evening. Ridiculous, he said. My mother ignored him completely. Pearl, we needed your help. You know that. Yes, I said. I do. Rachel leaned forward. And what about my dance academy payments? Those go through you too. Not anymore. Rachel blinked. What? I canceled them this morning. For a moment she just stared at me like she hadn't heard correctly. Then she laughed. Hey, stop. This isn't funny. I'm not joking. Rachel's face slowly hardened. You're paying for my classes until next year. That was the agreement. That was before tonight. My Uncle Mark shifted uncomfortably. Pearl, maybe we should calm down. But the calmest person in the room was me. For the first time in 2 years I wasn't trying to fix anything. Rachel pointed toward Lily. You're throwing your family away over her? Lily lowered her head immediately. Daniel opened his mouth but I spoke first. No, I said. I'm choosing my family. Rachel scoffed. That girl isn't even related to you. I stood up slowly. Exactly. Everyone looked at me. Then I said something none of them expected. And she still treated me better than any of you. Nobody spoke for several seconds. It was the kind of silence where everyone is waiting for someone else to break it first. My mother finally pushed her chair back. You're being dramatic, she said. Sit down and stop this nonsense. I didn't sit. Across the room, Lily had picked up the dessert bag again like she was unsure what to do with it. Daniel stayed beside her. Rachel shook her head and tapped the papers on the table. You think you can just walk away from us like this? Yes. My answer came out so quickly that even I surprised myself. Rachel blinked. That house exists because of you. I know. And you're just abandoning Mom? I'm removing myself from the loan. The house is still yours. My mother looked like she had bitten into something bitter. You promised to help me. I did help you. For 5 years, I said. Uncle Mark rubbed his forehead. Come on. Families say things sometimes. Your sister didn't mean it like that. Rachel rolled her eyes. Oh please. She pointed toward Lily again. She's been here 2 years? And suddenly she's more important than your actual family? I looked at her. Rachel had always been the center of attention growing up. If something good happened to me she somehow managed to turn it into her moment. The dance academy was a good example. 3 years earlier she had decided she wanted to open one. She didn't have the money. So I helped. The lease. The renovation. The monthly payments when the business was slow. Every single month money left my account to keep her studio open. Rachel leaned back in her chair. You're bluffing. I shook my head. No. You wouldn't destroy everything over one stupid dinner. I reached into my purse again. This time I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table. I already called the bank this afternoon, I said. Then I looked at Rachel. And I called the property manager of your studio. Her confidence slipped for the first time. What about him? I told him the financial support ends this month. Rachel stared at me. You're lying. I'm not. My mother slammed her hand on the table. This is insane. Daniel moved closer to me but didn't speak. My Aunt Denise looked nervous now. Pearl, sweetheart, maybe we can talk about this tomorrow. I shook my head. No. Tomorrow is exactly why this is happening today. Rachel crossed her arms. You're doing this because of that girl. Lily shifted slightly behind Daniel. I could see she was trying to disappear into the wall. Rachel kept going. She's not your daughter. No, I said. She's not. Rachel smirked. Exactly. Then I said the one thing that finally made everyone quiet again. But she is the only kid in this room who has never used me for money. Rachel's smile vanished. My mother looked confused. What are you talking about? I looked at all of them. For years, I said, every time you called me it was about something you needed. The house. Rachel's academy. Uncle Mark's temporary loan that was never repaid. Birthday gifts. Holiday trips. Bills. Always something. Then I nodded toward Lily. Do you know what she asked me for the first time we met? Nobody answered. I said it anyway. She asked if it was okay to call me by my first name. The room stayed quiet. Then I added something they weren't expecting. And tonight was the last time any of you get to ask me for anything. That's when my mother finally understood the real problem. Because suddenly she asked the one question she should have asked years ago. Pearl, exactly how much money are we talking about here? For the first time that night nobody looked angry. They looked worried. Rachel was the first to speak. What do you mean how much? My mother kept staring at me. Pearl, she said, how much money have you been putting into this family? It was strange hearing her say it like that. Like the numbers had never mattered before. I pulled a folded sheet of paper from the envelope still lying on the table and slid it toward her. I made a list. Rachel leaned forward again as my mother unfolded it. At first neither of them reacted. Then Rachel's eyebrows slowly rose. What the hell? Uncle Mark leaned over her shoulder. My Aunt Denise did the same. For the past few years I had kept records of everything. Not because I planned this moment. It was just a habit. I liked knowing where my money went. Apparently none of them ever thought about it. My mother read the numbers quietly. Mortgage assistance over 5 years. Rachel's dance academy lease and renovation. Monthly studio support. Mark's loan. Holiday expenses. Medical bills I helped cover. It wasn't one giant payment. It was hundreds of smaller ones that slowly added up. Rachel looked at me. This can't be right. It is. She flipped to the bottom of the page. Then she said the number out loud. $340,000. The room went completely silent. Even Daniel looked surprised. My mother slowly lowered the paper. You're exaggerating. I'm not. Rachel laughed nervously. No one spends that much on family. I did. My Uncle Mark looked uncomfortable now. Well, we always thought you were doing well financially. I was. Rachel pushed the paper away like it offended her. So what? You helped us. That's what families do. I nodded. Yes. Then I pointed toward the empty space at the table where a chair should have been. And this is what families don't do. Nobody spoke. My mother rubbed her temple. You're punishing us. No, I said. I'm protecting her. Rachel scoffed again. Oh my God, Pearl. She's a kid. She'll forget about it. I turned toward Lily. She was still holding the dessert bag. Quiet. So, watching everything. Then she spoke very softly. I didn't forget the last time. The room shifted. Rachel frowned. What last time? Lily hesitated, then looked at me like she wasn't sure if she should answer. I nodded. It's okay. She looked back at the table. The barbecue last summer, she said. Rachel's face tightened slightly. Lily continued. When Aunt Rachel told me I should stay in the backyard because family photos were only for real relatives. Rachel waved her hand immediately. Oh please, that was a joke. But Lily didn't respond. She just looked down at the floor again. Daniel's hand rested on her shoulder. My mother looked irritated. You're digging up old things. I shook my head. No. I stood up and picked up my purse. I'm remembering them. Rachel leaned forward. So that's it? You're just leaving? Yes. And cutting us off? Yes. My mother's voice turned cold. If you walk out that door, don't expect us to welcome you back. I looked at her for a moment. Then I said something that made the entire table go still again. You stopped welcoming us a long time ago. I walked over to Lily. She looked up at me carefully. Ready to go? I asked. She nodded. Daniel grabbed his jacket. We started toward the door. Behind us, Rachel suddenly said something louder than the rest. You'll regret this, Pearl. I stopped for a second. Then I turned back. No, I said. You will. At the time they didn't believe me. But 3 months later my phone started ringing almost every day. Because without me, everything in their lives began to fall apart. For the first 2 weeks after that dinner my phone didn't ring at all. No messages. No calls. Nothing. Rachel had blocked me on social media. My mother stopped responding to anything I sent. Even my Aunt Denise disappeared. It was quiet. Strangely peaceful. At home things were different. Lily started relaxing in ways I hadn't noticed she wasn't before. She sat with us during dinner without watching the room like she expected someone to tell her she didn't belong there. One evening she asked me something while we were washing dishes. "Are you mad at them?" "No," I said. "Then why did you stop talking to them?" I thought about it for a moment. Because sometimes people only understand your value when you're not there anymore. She nodded slowly. 3 weeks after that dinner, the first call finally came. It was my mother. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won. When I picked up, she didn't say hello. "The bank called today," she said. I waited. "They're reviewing the mortgage again." Another pause. Then she asked the question I had been expecting since the night I left. "Pearl, how are we supposed to pay this without you?" For a few seconds I didn't answer. Not because I didn't know what to say. Because I had imagined this call the moment I walked out of that dining room. "How are we supposed to pay this without you?" My mother sounded tired. Not angry like before. Just worried. I looked across the living room. Daniel was helping Lily with her homework at the coffee table. She was explaining something about her science project, completely focused. A house that felt calm. Something my childhood home never really was. "I don't know," I finally said. My mother let out a long breath. "Pearl, this isn't funny. The bank said our monthly payment will increase if they reassess everything. I can't afford that." "You should talk to Rachel," I said. "She can't help. Her studio is struggling." I wasn't surprised. Without my monthly support, that place had been running on borrowed time. My mother continued. "You know we depended on you." That word again. Depended. Not appreciated. Not respected. Just depended. "I know," I said. "And you're really going to let us lose the house?" I looked at Lily again. She was laughing about something Daniel said. Then I remembered that empty space at the dinner table. "No," I said quietly. "You lost me first." My mother went silent. "Pearl." But I had already made the decision months ago. "I hope things work out for you," I said. Then I ended the call. I didn't block her number. She called again a few times over the next weeks. Rachel tried once too. But I never answered. Because the truth was simple. For years I had been financing a family that never treated the people I loved like family. And the moment they decided my stepdaughter didn't deserve a chair at their table, they also gave up their place at mine. Now our house is quiet. Peaceful. And every night when we sit down for dinner, there's always a chair waiting for Lily.